Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Thursday afternoon live chat. If you're here, I want to invite you to go ahead and say hello. Let me know that you're watching with me. It's always so encouraging when I get to interact with you live. Today, I'm going to help you to pass your next bar exam. If you have taken the bar exam in the past and now you need to take it again, apparently you didn't pass the first time or maybe multiple times, there is an effect. I call it failure trauma that happens. Hey, I'm so happy that you're joining in live. Go ahead and say hi if you're here live and chime in with any questions that you might get while you're watching. But there's this thing that I call failure trauma. It kind of, walks around with you. And maybe at the time that you received your past scores, you processed it. Maybe you were angry, sad, mad, a number of emotions around it at the time. And then you got over it, right? With time, you healed or recovered from the disappointment, and then you moved on with it, knowing that you need to take this exam again in order to pass it because this license is necessary for you to start your career. You've done all this work all these years, and you still can't start your career because of this one thing. Well, this one thing mushrooms into a really big thing after the first time that you've failed it. So if you're taking the bar exam again, you need to address what I call the failure trauma so that you can dissolve those triggers and study for the bar in peace and pass the bar with ease. That's why the name of this group is Pass the Bar with Ease and Grace. A lot of the stuff that keeps us from passing the bar exam after we failed the first time, a lot of that stuff is now emotional and mental, not academic. Because look at it this way, even if you approached it and you didn't prepare fully academically, well, the second time that you're taking it, you're already familiar with the exam. You've already studied the material once. You're actually at an academic advantage. Now, the issues that are facing you are mental and emotional. When I say mental, I mean psychological, but we don't say psychological here because I'm not a licensed psychotherapist. I am a certified life coach, and I'm a life coach for your bar exam. So if you're here, go ahead and say hi. I love to know that you're here joining us live. So how do you know, first of all, if you're dealing with failure trauma? How do you know that that's something that's bugging you with the bar exam? A lot of the issues that we face with the bar exam are life issues that existed before the bar exam happened, and we just have to notice them now because they're getting in the way of our bar exam. But then you have some issues that were not there before and only came up because you failed the bar. So how do you know if you're dealing with like general life stuff that you've always needed a life coach for, or if you're dealing with specifically bar exam failure trauma, right? Well, the quick and honest truth with that is that you would have to have a real live conversation with somebody who knows how to decipher the two and trace back the roots of what you're feeling. But you'll know that something mindset wise is going on if, one, you're procrastinating on doing your study sessions. You don't want to go to them. The reason we procrastinate on anything is because it's unpleasant. Even if one is necessary or two is pleasant to other people, for us, because we have some emotional baggage around it, it is unpleasant. We don't want to do it. Well, we can start to troubleshoot the unpleasantness of it by asking you, take a minute to think about how do you feel around, when you think about going to study. That right there will reveal a lot. I feel like it's a chore. I can't believe I have to do this again, et cetera, et cetera. All those thoughts are important. Pay attention to what your thoughts are. The hard thing about mindset work is that, one, we're not really trained to listen to our thoughts and to pay attention to them. But two, we don't know what to do with those thoughts once we've uncovered them. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick trick on what to do with those thoughts once you've uncovered them, because you need to get down to the bottom of it if you're going to resolve any of this. And full disclosure, I know that what I'm telling you to do is easier said than done. I know that the first time you try to do this, it will be a bit difficult because let's face it, if it were easy, you would have already been doing this, because this that I'm about to teach you is the number one effective way to resolve any past trauma, breakups, failing, being fired, anything that's irking you emotionally. This is the way to solve it. And if it were easy, everybody would be doing it every day and we'd be fine. But oftentimes we need help, at least the first few times. We need someone to hold our hand and walk us through how to do this until it becomes a practiced thing. So do you want to learn this way of getting through your trauma or emotional baggage by observing your thoughts and working with your thoughts? If you're here and you're ready to learn that, give me a thumbs up. I'd love to see your enthusiasm, your engagement, your desire to learn this, because what am I showing up for every week, right? It's because you're here and you want to learn it. And I want to teach it to you. I want to help you pass the bar exam. This is all about getting you past the bar exam so that you can move on with the rest of your life already, you know? And I have a vested interest in seeing you pass the bar exam, because the more attorneys who learn how to tap into their inner selves, the more of those attorneys that are out there, the better the legal landscape becomes. It's just truth, right? The whole playing field is just a brighter, happier place to be when people are taking care of their own mindset stuff. So if you're wanting to learn how to follow your trail of thoughts to get down to the solution for your bar exam or any trauma really, then throw me a thumbs up and let's get into it. So as I started off right before, my mini invitation to you to continue and watch this through to the end, because I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk to me so that you can get the help that you need. But the first thing you want to do when you find yourself procrastinating to your studies is you want to follow or observe the train of thought that you're having in that moment of procrastination. What thoughts are you having specifically that are brewing the feelings inside with regards to studying, right? Hi, Ruth. Thank you for saying hi. I love that you greeted me coming in. And yeah, so I see some thumbs up. People are ready to learn. So the first thing is to observe the thoughts that you're having when you're supposed to be going to study, but you're not. Are you beating up on yourself? Are you calling yourself names? Are you telling yourself you should be doing better? What are you thinking about the bar study? Are you thinking, oh my goodness, this is such a chore. I shouldn't have to do this. I really don't want to do this. I can't believe I'm doing this again. What else are you thinking? Let's follow that. I can't believe I'm doing this again. What's so bad about having to do this again? Ask yourself that question. So what's wrong with that? What's so bad about that? That's going to be a common question. When you ask yourself that question, the next thought will be your answer. Well, you know, everybody knows I've been taking this thing over and over again. I haven't been able to pass. Or, you know, I'm just so tired. I just want to move on with my life. And then you get the next thought. The question that you ask yourself, and now you're being the observer. You're like coming out of yourself and talking to yourself, right? So after you get those initial thoughts and you ask yourself, what's so wrong and bad about that? You want to go a step further. Okay, so what's the big deal that all kinds of people know that I've been taking the bar exam for 3 years and I still haven't passed? What's the big deal that I don't have that future life that I've been wanting already? What's the big deal? You have to ask yourself that, because there is a big deal to it, right? Some part of you feels that there is a big deal. Now your grown-up brain knows there's no big deal, who cares, right? But if your grown-up brain was in charge all the time, you would have already passed the bar exam. You're dealing with baggage because there's another part of your brain that's really in control right now. And this exercise that I'm teaching you helps you to bring your higher mind back into the driver's seat so that you can drive this car to where you want it to go. So you always want to follow with the next question. What's so bad about that? Now, the difficulties you run into is that part of you that understands that you're actually now taking back control, oh my goodness, it will go crazy. Have you ever tried to like be the grown up and then all of a sudden you went off on a tangent and now you went back to being angry, you went back to blaming, or you just tuned out and turned on Netflix. That part of you, we call it the ego. That part of you is the one that's invested in keeping you the same. And if it has to like cause some hurtful things to happen so that you can give up and just go back to being the same, it will do that. So the hard part about this line of questioning is that as you get deeper and you get closer to that sore spot, the ego will naturally start to put up blocks and try to distract you and try to like have your mind go off on tangents and have you decide to give this up and go turn on Netflix. And so you need the ability to stick to the line of questioning until it's complete, right? Until you get down to that answer that makes you go, ugh, right? And a lot of times it's hard to get to that answer. I talk one-on-one with people and they'll say, oh my goodness, I don't want to think about that. That means that's exactly the thing that we need to think about right now. And so I encourage you, if you start this line of questioning and you don't get to the answer, the one that you know, and you'll know when you get to the answer, it'll feel icky, but you'll know, oh my goodness, that's it. That has been holding me back this whole time. You'll know it when you get to that answer. But you keep asking yourself, so what's so bad about that? What's the big deal about that? Why is that such a tragedy? Keep asking yourself that question until you get to the answer. Your brain will keep giving you responses and you keep digging deeper. You'll get to that answer, that final thing. And it's different for everyone. If it were like the same thing for everyone, I could just give you a list and you could just check off the list like a paper with the symptoms that you fill out when you go to the doctor's office. But it's different for everyone. You have to follow the trail of thoughts for yourself. Then you'll get down to what that button, that trigger, that sore spot is. And once you discover that, then it's a matter of resolving and dissolving it, which is a conversation for a whole other live stream. My promise to you is to get you in and out in about 15 minutes or less, because we've all got things that we need to do. And the truth is that for you to really be able to go far with these teachings that I'm giving you, you take in the knowledge, but you have to apply it. So I'm giving you the time to, once you've taken in this knowledge of what I need to do to recognize and then dissolve my triggers from past failures, now that you have this knowledge, now I'm take the time to go ahead and apply it. One way that you can keep yourself on track and not get distracted is by writing it down on paper, right? Writing the questions and the answers down. And as the answer comes to your mind, write it down and then ask, what's so bad about that? And then write down the next thought that comes up. That keeps you focused. And you'll notice when you get distracted, because you'll literally walk away from the paper. That's your ego trying to tell you to no, go back to normal. Except you don't want to go back to normal. Normal is non-attorney, and you want to become an attorney, so you persist in the line of questioning. If you have trouble persisting in the line of questioning, or you get to a stuck spot, or you get to what you think is the end, but nothing has released yet, then you want to get help. I'm available to talk with you one-on-one and help you to continue down that line of questioning so that you can get to the real root of the trigger, and then we can dissolve it together so that it no longer stands in your way, it no longer comes up and acts to keep you procrastinating around the bar exam. Other quick ways to find out whether you're dealing with emotional trauma around the bar exam: not only are you procrastinating, but if you do go to study, you immediately are distracted, and you've tried everything you can to not be distracted, but you always find something to be distracted about. You've gone into a white padded room, no phone, no nothing, and you still find a way to be distracted. Either you go daydreaming or you literally fall asleep. That is a defense mechanism. That is a defense mechanism. And if that's happening to you, you're dealing with emotional trauma around the bar exam. You need to resolve it. You need to get down to the bottom of it. The loss of motivation is a softer precursor, right? Loss of motivation then keeps you from even realizing that I'm procrastinating, or even coming to the study session and realizing I'm easily distracted. You just have lost motivation. You just don't want to wake up. You just don't want to go with anything. It's a softer precursor because it keeps you from even approaching the very idea of the thing that has a negative association for you, the thing being the bar exam, right? So if you have a massive loss of motivation, that's another key or clue that you need to look into some psychological aspects around the bar, right? So overall, you've learned that one, if you're taking the bar exam for the second or more time, you are at an academic advantage. Let's say yay for academic advantages, right? Two, there are some very easy ways to tell whether you are dealing with past triggers and traumas from failing the bar before, right? And those easy ways are your loss of motivation, your procrastination, and your distraction level, okay? As opposed to the bar right now is giving you problems. The bar right now giving you problems has another set of emotional tell signs that we'll maybe do a live video on that later. If you want to hear something about that, then go ahead in the comments and let me know. Yes, I want to hear about how to tell if I'm dealing with present emotional stuff with the bar exam. Just let me know if you would like to hear that. But I've told you, one, you're at an academic advantage if you're retaking the bar. Two, there are easy ways to tell if past bar exam failure is blocking you. And three, here's how to deal with it. Follow the train of thought. Continue asking yourself whenever you get the response, ask yourself what's so wrong, what's so bad, what's the big deal about that. Get the answer and then ask the question again. You want to get down to the real root of the problem. And we do that by continual question and answering. And finally, if you get stuck in any of that, book a call with me. I'll walk you through it. That's what I do because the whole point is to get you to pass the bar. That's what I have for you today. Join us again next week, Thursday, noon Eastern. Every week, Thursday, noon Eastern, we'll be here to get you the mindset, knowledge, and tools that you need to pass the bar exam. Look for links in the comment below, and we'll see each other next week.